There have been so many different video game movie adaptations over the years, and it's getting a little annoying at how bad some of them are. We went through a period where every video game movie was just terrible. However, recently, we have seen better adaptations. So stay tuned to today's video as we discuss the best video game movie adaptations. Number 1. Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu was one of the first big video game adaptations to actually have a good story and a good plot. This adapted the popular Detective Pikachu 3DS game from Japan, starring Ryan Reynolds, Justice Smith, and many others. The film released 2 really good reviews, and the review is praised for its CGI and story. Despite being a very basic Pokemon story, the film was really good and harkened back to that original Pokemon anime. The story was fast-paced and had good action and was very funny, especially between the scenes between Tim and Pikachu. It honors the spirit of Pokemon and pushes the material into some new territory that it hadn't done before. It's the best live-action piece of Pokemon material, yeah, and we can't wait to see more in this vein in the future. Number 2. Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider was another massive release back in 2018 and followed in Angelina Jolie's footsteps as it rebooted the beloved Tomb Raider live-action franchise. Of course, this wasn't the first time Tomb Raider had been in live action, but it took it in a new direction, being much more serious than the original trilogy. They based themselves more around the recent Tomb Raider video games, which show Lara Croft's backstory in a new light. Of course, the film still had its faults, but overall it was a pretty good release, and fans of the games and the original film series enjoyed it. The film takes inspiration from Indiana Jones and even Uncharted. Before that goes live-action dictation. We have a globe-trotting storyline following Croft looking for her missing father. It's intense and well-directed, easily one of the better live-action and video game adaptations. Number 3. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 isn't as good as the original film, but it still does an insane job at bringing Sonic to life. Most voters feel like the first film is better than the second, but the second film has its own tweaks, meaning that it adapts Sonic even further into live action. It has Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik in a much more evil role than he is in the games, and also brings across Knuckles, played by Idris Elba. The film is fun, longer, and bigger, and has a much better CGI budget, meaning that the film overall looks way better. It rectifies many of the complaints that people had from the original film, and even sets up a third Sonic the Hedgehog movie that we know is already in the works. If you've seen the movie already, that post-credit scene really sets up the future of this franchise, so we should be getting spin-offs of this series later on down the line as well. Number 4. Sonic the Hedgehog. The first Sonic the Hedgehog movie is next on this list, as it's much better than its sequel. When this film was originally announced, it didn't look great as Sonic design was downright terrible, but the directors pushed the film back in response to the fan outcry and changed the film for the better. Sonic looks much more like his game and animated counterparts, meaning he overall looked like the part. Despite the film not faring the best at the box office due to COVID-19, it holds a special place in many Sega fans' hearts, and of course, earned just enough to get a sequel. This film sets up Sonic making his home on Earth after jumping between different dimensions at supersonic speeds. He makes a family text on Dr. Robotnik, and by the post-credit scene, seems to have met a new friend, Tails. The film is fun and great for kids, but is also one of the best video game adaptations we've seen yet. Number 5. Lara Croft Tomb Raider. The original live-action Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie at the helm may be a corny 2000 movie, but its heart is still one of the best video game adaptations we've seen yet. Tomb Raider is a franchise that was easily adaptable into live action, as it's just a story about tomb raiding following Lara Croft on her journey to find her father. Angelina Jolie stepped into this role just after earning an Academy Award, but suddenly this film didn't do great at the box office at first, but throughout its cinematic release, the film actually became a major box office success and even led to a 2003 sequel where she reprised her role as Lara Croft. Looking back on this film, it's very cheesy and corny, but it's still a great movie and shows that video games can still be adapted into live action if tried hard enough. Number 6. Mortal Kombat. We are going to group all the Mortal Kombat live action movies here, as they are all very similar in style and rankings. Street Fighter and Double Dragon had tried to make live-action movies in the past and just failed because they couldn't fit their art style and gameplay into a good movie. However, when Mortal Kombat tried back in 1995, it somehow worked, only in parts though. The original Mortal Kombat live-action movie isn't great and is really cheesy, but looking back, it's a fun watch. It was a pretty good adaptation of the game and kept the heart and soul of the franchise, but because of its directing and budget, it didn't sit well with some fans. Then in 2021, Mortal Kombat got another adaptation with a bigger budget and a better cast, and this one was really good. It's even getting a sequel, which is being worked on right now, so it shows that this film did really well at the box office and with fans. What do you think about this one? Please let us know down in the comment section below. Video game adaptations are slowly getting better as more and more companies are adapting things that should work in live action. Just look at The Last of Us, as it's a perfect example of a franchise that should work in live action, and from the photos we've seen from the set, it looks really good. It's hard to adapt certain things like Super Mario Bros. Into live action, action, but somehow Sonic works, so maybe Mario should get another go after its animated movie releases soon. Then you have films like Uncharted, which did really well, but don't exactly harken back to the games as much as they should do. The game is full of references and the stories were very similar, but actor Tom Holland doesn't really suit the role of Nathan Drake, unlike Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. The casting, directing, and CGI all need to work together with the budget given to make a really good live-action video game movie. Many have failed, but they paved the way for this current era of video game movies where they're all at least decent. Please let us know down in the comment section how you feel about the current era of video game movies and what might come next. And now, on to some other video game movie news. Finally, we have, is the Borderlands movie adaptation getting a trailer soon? To end off this video, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest video game movie adaptations of this year, the Borderlands movie. We really don't know much about the plot of this film, despite coming out towards the end of this year, but the cast is looking really good. Cate Blanchett will be playing the titular character Lilith from Borderlands 1 and 2. Kevin Hart will be playing Roland the Soldier. Jamie Lee Curtis is playing Tannis, a scientist from all the Borderlands games. And finally, one of the biggest actors, Jack Black, will be playing Claptrap. These are the biggest names in the movie, and of course, other characters are being played by small actors, but it's just great that we're even getting this film in the first place. Borderlands is a very specific and quirky franchise, so adapting it into live action is definitely a hard task. But Gearbox and the director feel like they have cracked it and know exactly what they're doing with this brand new adaptation. The story seems to be adapting parts of Borderlands 1 and 2, with the brand new villain being introduced. We don't know if Atlas will be the main villain of the film, as many are expecting Handsome Jack to somehow be involved. But you never know, Handsome Jack might be introduced at the end of the movies to set up for a sequel. Handsome Jack is easily the best video game villain of all time, and even people who haven't played enough of Borderlands believe this. He's just phenomenal, so having him in live action would be perfect. They just need to cast him right. The big question right now is, are we getting a trailer for this thing soon, as it's coming out later this year? We haven't even had costumes revealed yet, as the last time we saw them, they were all in black and white. Hopefully we get one soon, as fans can't hold out any longer. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comment section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!